What does branding have to do with acting? You have been marketing yourself since you were a small child by initiating and developing relationships. You will have knowingly done this with your family, friends, and strangers. You may not have created a distinct brand for yourself yet, but the better you understand your strengths and what makes you tick, the sooner you'll be able to personalize yourself as a brand. In time, this personal brand will take on a life of its own. The key to building your brand is, as the ancient Greeks taught us, to know thyself. If you have listened to my previous video and have done the 5 pointers, plus taken the personality test to discover your strengths, you will have established structure to define what you're most suited to do in terms of your path as an actor. The better you know yourself, the more effectively you can market yourself and the more likely you are to attract the right audience. That is why it's so important to identify your talents and strengths. Question: how can you build a strong brand identity around who you are? Answer: by building relationships with your audience. As a brand, you should generate an image and an idea that guarantees your audience a particular experience. This may sound prescriptive and corporate, but you have to remember that the best asset you have to offer the audience is yourself. You have every right to be here because you are special and unique, and you have something personally to share. Learn to develop your personal brand, and over the course of time, it will strengthen your reputation and enable you to reach out to customers. This is where being different allows you to stand out. By being the most authentic version of yourself, you will project an image of who you are rather than imitating another actor you admire and ending up with all the appeal and energy of a cardboard cutout. Nike, Apple, Google, and Disney are powerful brands. Simply saying the brand name conjures up mental images of the products and company values. Nike stands for athleticism, Apple stands for slick technological designs, Google for infinite access to knowledge, and Disney for imagination and fun. If you carry this idea into the acting world, you will see the majority of celebrities had some sort of personal brand during their early careers, which they stuck with for some time. As a case in point, Clint Eastwood was an all-time lone hero. He was a cool, enigmatic, laconic individual. Robert De Niro was a master of brooding silence and quiet menace. He had the street smarts but was also a highly sensitive man. Sandra Bullock was a cute and quirky girl in romantic comedies who always enjoyed cracking a joke or two at the expense of someone else. More recently, Emma Stone has been the girl next door type who is charming in her approach to life, adopting a laissez-faire attitude infused with nonchalance and wit. Whether a brand is good or bad, it stands for something. In most cases, it will represent one key product, service, or mindset. What is your one thing? In other words, what will your brand be when the time comes? You may be scratching your head thinking, hey, I'm nowhere near that point yet. I haven't started my acting career and you're already talking to me about branding myself? But you should start thinking about yourself even in the early days. How do you think you would be or should be branded? Do you think you would fit certain roles more effectively than others? Do you happen to be particularly tall, short, slim, overweight, comedic, dramatic, energetic, or morose? Think about yourself as a person and the characters you can easily portray. Then begin to imagine the brand you could create around yourself. Most actors don't want to be pigeonholed as a certain type of character throughout their careers. This is fully understandable, but it shouldn't be a major concern. As an actor, you're a chameleon, so you should be able to fit your round peg into any shape, or a casting role for that matter. But just for now, concentrate on your key strengths. Capitalize on those and focus on making them stronger and sharper. Then, once you're more established, go for the roles that are more daring and challenging for you to conquer. If you look closely at the examples I gave of famous actors above, you'll notice that I mentioned that they were those character types. This doesn't mean that they still are now, but they had to start somewhere. Each first established a brand and then moved on from there to develop further skills. As is written in The Hero and the Outlaw, superstars in the film and entertainment industry and the agents who manage them understand that their continued popularity does not hinge simply on the quality or success of the films they make or the visibility they attain. Rather, it depends on creating, nourishing, and continuously reinterpreting a unique and compelling identity or meaning. In other words, define your identity as an actor, discover your strengths, and create a character that projects you in a way that reflects your greatest abilities.